So, friends, it's me again. Do you ever wonder if somebody else is going to be on one day? Or do you ever wish that just one day I would leave you alone and let somebody else pinch hit or something? Some people have offered, Lamaisa, you know? Some people have offered. But I don't know. What do you want me to tell you? Friends, well, yeah, that would be interesting. Welcome back to Babylon Talmud. Today we're studying Daf 20 of Masechta Megilla. Friends, Daf 20, so we get to two Mishnahs. One talks about different things that you have to do during the daytime, and the other one talks about other things that you have to do during the daytime. So, that's what we're talking about. Friends, where are we? Okay, we're on Daf Chaf already, about 8-10 lines into the page by the two dots. Yehuda Machshir B'Kotin. That Rabbi Yehuda says that a little fellow he's still very young, so he's allowed to read the Megillah. We said yesterday that maybe that's only if he reaches the age of Chinuch, but alright, whatever it might be. The Tanya, we learn in a Brisa Amar Rabbi Yehuda, says Rabbi Yehuda, Ko'in Ayisi, I was a little fellow, very young. The Karise, and I read the Megillah, the Mailam Reb Tarfon Uzkenim Belod. Wow. So it says Rabbi Yehuda that when he was young, he read the Megillah by Reb Tarfon and the rest of the elders in Lod. Wow. That's cool. Not really sure what's cool about it, but it's pretty cool. I don't know. Rabbi Yehuda being with Reb Tarfon in Lod. I think Rabbi Yehuda he's buried in the north. He's buried by Tzfas around. So he was in Lod, I guess. Okay, which is near Tel Aviv kind of area. Very, very interesting stuff. Amrullah, they said to Rabbi Yehuda, Ein mevin raya min hakohen. You can't bring a proof from the fact that when you were that you're testifying about when you were a little kid. That doesn't work. Tanya, within a brisa, Amr Rebbe, says Rebbe, Kohen Ayisi, I was a little fellow, I was young. As a young fellow, V'karise l'mayla Rabbi Yehuda, and he read the Megillah by Rabbi Yehuda. We learned somewhere. Where did we read that Rabbi Yehuda was the Muryana Devei Nesiya? That Rabbi Yehuda was he was the posek, the halachic authority in the house of Rebbe. Maybe it was in Psachim or something. I don't know. Yoma, I don't know, something like that. So I gotta find that somewhere because that's a good one. Anyways, so Rebbe says that when he was young, he read the Megillah by Rabbi Yehuda. Amrullah, they said to Rebbe, Ein mevin raya min hamatir. You can't bring a proof from the one who's lenient. Kilu, Rabbi Yehuda is a das yachid. He says that a child is allowed to read the Megillah, and Rebbe seems to be bringing as a proof that a child can read the Megillah from the fact that he read the Megillah in front of Rabbi Yehuda. I mean, obviously it's okay for you to read the Megillah in front of Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yehuda is the one who says it's allowed. Well, it would be a better proof if you said that you read the Megillah in front of the other rabbis and they were okay with that. Why didn't they respond to Rebbe, hey, you can't bring a proof from what you did when you were a child, as we said to Rabbi Yehuda when he made the claim about him reading the Megillah as a child in front of Rabbi Tarfon. So they were saying two things to him. First of all, you were young, you were a kohen, you were a child when you read the Megillah, and you therefore, in the story that you're testifying about, and therefore we can't accept proofs from, things that happened when you were a child. And even if you were older, it's still not a proof. Because we can't bring a proof from the person who is lenient. If Rabbi Yehuda is the one who's being lenient, you can't bring a proof that he's the one who also allowed you to do it. Obviously allowed you to do it. He's the lenient one. You got to get a better argument than that. Says the new Mishnah, in Korenis HaMegillah, we don't read the Megillah on Purim. V'lo Malin, we don't do bris milas. V'lo Tovlin, we don't go to the mikvah. V'lo Mazin, we don't sprinkle we don't sprinkle on a mitzorah. We don't sprinkle on a fellow who is tmei meis, the water with the ashes of the paraduma. V'chein, and similarly, shomer yom keneged yom, lo sitbal ad shetein etzachama. Also, Shomer Yom Kineged Yom. Who could tell me what a Shomer Yom Kineged Yom is? Right. I forgot I was going to make a joke. I was going to make a joke at the beginning. Is it too late? Can I make it now? Alright, fine. Thanks. I was going to say, we might even finish the parak today, but it depends on how you behave. Anyways, so V'chin Shomer Yom Kineged Yom. So a Shomer Yom Kineged Yom is, basically Mida Oraisa. The way that Nida works, Mida Oraisa, is that a woman who sees Dam becomes a Nida for 7 days. Now, right, from 7 days after the first time she sees Dam, so then Nida is over. And if she sees any Dam in the following 11 days, right, so after 7 days from the first time she sees Dam, so if she sees Dam again in the next 11 days, so then that's kind of the Zava period, right? Which means that if she sees blood for 3 days consecutively within that 11-day period, so then she becomes a Zava. So now what if she sees Dam one time? She doesn't know if she's going to see it yet the next day and the day after, but she saw it today. So now what does she do? So what she does is, okay, well, today she saw Dam, fine. So today's day 1. Hopefully she won't see Dam tomorrow. But we can only find out tomorrow. So Keidu Shomer Yom Kineged Yom. Since she saw Dam today, we have to figure out, is today day 1 of what's going to end up being a 3-day occurrence, in which case she becomes a Zava, or was this just a one-time occurrence, and the next day there won't be any Dam? So she has to wait the next day, right? So today she already saw Dam, but tomorrow we have to see, is she going to see Dam or not? That's what it means, Shomer Yom Kineged Yom, that she has to, be like on alert the next day, that hopefully there won't be any Dam the next day, on account of the fact that she saw Dam today. So because she saw Dam today, the next day she has to sort of be on the lookout as well. So she is allowed, so she can already she already goes to the mikvah on the next day that she's like kind of on the lookout after Neitzacham. Alright, fine. So, V'chulan, right, so V'chin Shomer Yom Kineged Yom Losit Ba'al Shetei Neitzacham, V'chulan, and all of them, She'asu Misha'ala Amud HaShachar Kosher, technically if you already did any of these things that we're saying to wait till Neitzachama, right, like reading the Megillah, so if you did it from Alos HaShachar, you are Yotze. Rashi says, T'mei Alos HaShachar Yumamu, because really from Alos HaShachar, from dawn, it is already the daytime. Aval, however, Lefi she'ein hakol bekiyin bo, tzurich lehamtin ad Neitzachama. But because not everybody knows exactly when dawn is, right, now we have Ma'izmanim. Now you can kind of, just look it up online. I was once in Sevastopol. I was in a few places where there wasn't Ma'izmanim, or it was just wrong or something, so I had to write into them. I wrote into them from Sevastopol, and where else did I write into them from? Anyways, maybe somewhere in Indonesia. So then, I was in Sevastopol once, and I went to check on Ma'izmanim. I think it was off by an hour or something. I wrote into them. They got back to me. It was very nice. Probably not too many people writing from Sevastopol. I probably wasn't really supposed to go there. Sevastopol's, in retrospect, I probably shouldn't have gone. Anyways, it's in the Crimea, which is kind of they don't accept, that you can't, they don't accept, there's like sanctions there. So they don't accept any like credit cards or anything. It's just like, so, anyways. They like can't use like products and stuff. They will have to use like VPNs for everything because they can't actually use like any stuff because they're like heavily sanctioned. Anyways, let's go weiter. Okay, well, let's go weiter. So from Amud HaShachar already, technically speaking, you can do these things, but because not everybody knows when Amud HaShachar is, so we wait till Neitzachama, which is a shtickle brighter. Says the Gemara Minolan, how do we know that you have to wait for Kriyas HaMegillah until the daytime? So the Amar Krab, because the pasuk says V'ayom ha'elin is karim v'naisim, that these days are mentioned and done. So bayom in, balayla lo. So we read Megillah during the day, not at night. So therefore you have to wait till it's day. Wait 1 second. We don't read the Megillah at night. Let's read that again. So balayla lo, are we really saying that we don't read Megillah at night? That sounds like a kasha on Rabbi Yehoshua ben Levi, the Amr Rabbi Yehoshua ben Levi. That Rabbi Yehoshua ben Levi had said on Daf Daled, you have to read Megillah twice on Purim, once at night, once during the day. So once at night and once during the day. But we're saying that you have to wait until the day because it says so what? And you're not allowed to read the Megillah at night. So that sounds like a kasha on Rabbi Yehoshua ben Levi who says that you do read the Megillah at night. So the Gemara says no. You read the Megillah at night. You read the Megillah during the day. However, the Megillah that you read during the day, you have to wait until Netzacham. But yes, you also do read the Megillah the night before, and obviously that's going to be at night. Voita. We don't do bris milah until Hey Netzacham. On the 8th day, you do bris milah, and therefore you have to wait till the 8th day, not the night. V'lo tovlin, v'lo mazin, v'chulei. We don't go to the mikveh, and we don't sprinkle the ashes of the paraduma until the daytime. Dichsiv, as the pasuk says, v'hiza atar al atame v'gomer, that the pure person will sprinkle onto the impure person by Yom HaShvi on the 7th day. V'izkash tefillah l'adzayah, and also at the end of that pasuk it says, oh no. That's something else. But we compare. I'm sorry. Exactly. Vishkas tefillah azay. And at the end of that pasuk, it says, right? That then he goes into the mikvah and he's tahor at night. So we compare the sprinkling to the mikvah, and therefore mikvah also has to be during the day. And also. So a woman who saw blood during one of the 11 days after she's in Nida for 7 days, so then the next day she needs to wait and see if she's going to see Dam for a second day. So that day already, which is the day that she's kind of on the lookout, she can already go to the mikveh after Heinei Tzachama. So pshita, this is obvious. We just said a second ago that anybody who has to go to the mikveh has to wait till Heinei Tzachama. So isn't it obvious then that a shomer yom keneged yom who has to go to the mikveh needs to wait until Netzachama, just like every person who goes to the mikveh? So it's trich. So the Gemara says, well, there's a little bit more to the story. I may have thought to say I might think that we can compare the first sort of seeing of Dam for a potential Zava, like the first seeing of whatever it is that a Zav sees when he might potentially end up being a Zav. So, V'ri'iyah Rishona Shel Zav Iskash L'Bal Keri, and the first sighting of a Zav, of whatever that Zavi stuff is, I never really looked up what it is. I'm actually also a little bit hesitant to look up what it is. But whatever it is, it's like Zavi kind of stuff. But and is it like the honor system? Well, I guess it's the honor system with all this stuff. So what, you just like become a Zav and you like self-isolate. Well, I guess we can relate to all this stuff now, kind of, with all this isolation stuff, right? I guess it's somewhat the honor system, right? So, except in Israel, then they track your, like the freaking Mossad, like tracks your phone. Alright, so now, you and like the Iranian scientists. Iranian scientists and people with COVID, their phones are being tracked by the Mossad. Alright, so V'ri'iyah Rishona Shel Zav Iskash L'Bal Keri, and the first sighting of Ziva is compared to like a fellow who sees Keri, sperm. Tichsiv, as the Apostle says, Zostars HaZav, that this is the laws of the Zav, as well as a fellow who sees Keri. So just like a Balkari, a fellow who sees Keri, so he can go to the mikvah already that day. So also a fellow who sees Ziva, whatever that is, he goes to the mikvah that day. So v'habi mama lo matzitav. Now the thing is, when it comes to a shomer yom keneged yom, she's unable, she can't do that, right? If she sees Dam on one of these days, she can't go to the mikvah that day, she has to wait till the next day. That when she's a Zava, so then it's like the same status as a Nida. So it says Kol Yemei. So Kol Yemei Zova Kamishkav Nidasa Yelam. We learn out from Yiyah that it will be that Shtavka, she can't go to the mikvah today. She has to go to the mikvah tomorrow, the next day. But Mias Li'avid Mikzas Shimur V'Tidbo. But I might think, okay, so even if she has to wait till the next day to go to the mikvah, well, technically the day starts at the night. So I might think that she can go to the mikvah already at the beginning of the next day, i.e. at night. So Kamashman came in the way Sphira, since she has to count, so Sphira B'Yamama, counting is during the day, and therefore when she's counting like the next day to kind of see if she's gonna see Ziva or not, Dam or not, so then she has to wait, right? Sphira Bayom, counting is during the day, so she has to wait until the daytime, until after Heinet Tzachama. V'chulan mishe asu misha'al whoa. What? V'chulan she'asu mishe ala omer shachar kosher. Givaldig. So then the Mishnah had said that all of these things, if you do them from dawn already, so it suffices. Even though we said that you should wait until sunrise, but if you do it from dawn already, it works. Menan immediately. How do we know this? Omar Ravit, Omar Krahua. That Rava says that the pasuk says Vayikra Elokim La'or Yom, that God called the light day. So the Meir Uva Kro Yom, that's sort of the lightening of the day he already called day, i.e. that once already the day is like getting light, i.e. from Amud HaShachar, that's already technically considered day. Elameata, b'frek the Gemara. When it says that he called the darkness night, does that mean that sort of the darkening is what's called night, i.e. from sunset, not when the stars come out? But I thought that it's really only considered nighttime after the stars come out, after Tzesa Kochavim. So Ella, Omer Reb Zera, and friends, this might be familiar from the first daf of Shas. From here, oh my gosh, the first daf of Shas. Who remembers that? I remember that. I know where I was. Alright. So, where were you for your first daf of Shas? So, Kamla that Tzesa Kochavim, where am I? So, Reb Zera Mehacha. So, Reb Zera says, we learn out from here, V'anachnu osim b'melacha, that the pasuk says Nehemiah describing the work that they were doing on the temple, that we were doing work v'chitzim machzikim b'ramachim. V'chetzion machzikim b'ramachim me'alos hashachar ad Tzesa Kochavim. And half of the people were holding on to spears from dawn until nightfall. The Omer in the pasuk says, and the night was for guarding, and the day was for work. So my Omer, how come we need the second pasuk? So I might think to say, so let's just wrap this up for a second. Maybe we'll read that again in a second. But yes, we'll definitely read that again in a second. But what it means is this, that it says that when they were doing the work on the temple, so they were there from dawn until the stars come out, until Tzesa Kochavim. And then we say, and also the day was for work and the night was for was for guarding. So the question is, how come we need both psukim? The first pasuk to describe that they did the work from dawn until nightfall, until the stars come out, and the other one says that they did work during the day, because the point is, just in case you wanted to say that, well, maybe day is from Neit Tzachama and ends at sunset, and they got there early and left late. No, so therefore it says that the day was for work, that i.e. whenever they were working, i.e. from dawn until the stars come out, that was considered day. That is considered day. So again, so Reb Zera says Mehacha from here, V'anachnu osim b'melacha, that we were doing the work of the temple. V'chetzem machzikim b'ramachim me'alos hashachar v'ad Tzesa Kochavim, and half the people were holding on to spears from dawn until the stars come out. V'omer, and the pasuk says V'ayilanu alayla l'mishmar v'ayom melacha, that the night was for guarding, the day was for work. My V'omer, why do we need that second pasuk? V'chitema, because if you're going to say Mishal Amud HaShachar Lav Yumamu, if you're going to say from dawn is not yet day, and already from sunset is considered night, even though it's before the stars come out. When it says that they were doing work on the from dawn, they got there early. And when it says that they did it, that they were working until Tzesa Kochavim, until the stars come out, maybe they were staying late. Tashma v'ayilonu alayla mishmar v'ayom malacha. Therefore the pasuk says, the nighttime was for guarding, and the daytime was for work, i.e., when they were working from dawn until the stars come out, that is the daytime. So the daytime begins at dawn and goes until the stars come out. All right, friends, we're getting up to the last Mishnah of the second parak of Masechet Megillah. Kol hayom kosher l'kriyas Megillah. So all day you can read the Megillah. I read the Megillah all day. Yeah, all day I read the Megillah. Yeah. The people, they call me, they're like, Shirley, we need to do a Megillah reading. I'm like, all right, I'll come. Yeah, I just come and I read the Megillah, and in exchange, people, they give me wine. That's usually the way it works. Usually most places I read Megillah, there's wine there. So I don't mind. I just run around town reading Megillah and getting fresh nicket. So fine. So kol hayom kosher l'kriyas Megillah. So you can read Megillah all day. V'lekriyas Hallel, and also you could read the Hallel all day. All right, sounds very nice. V'letkiyas shofar, shofar blowing could be all day. V'lenetilas lulav, and shaking the lulav. V'letfilas hamusafin, and praying the musaf prayers. V'la musafin, and the musaf offerings, like the korbanos themselves, you could do all day. V'levidoi haparim. It's actually interesting. It says it's Tfilas HaMusafim, right? This gets back also to a machlokas that we had in Masechta Brachos, right? In the fourth parak, about is Musafim for the first, right? Is it only the first 7 hours a day, or is it the entire day? Anyways, Levidoi Aparim, and also, and like Par Hilam Davar Shel Tzibur, for example, right? So there's like confession. Somebody told me a confession today. It wasn't really a big deal, but they called it a confession. Maybe it was being dramatic, but anyways, so for confessing on these cows, okay, Levidu Meiser, and also this like thing that you say on years 4 and 7 of the Shemitah cycle about Biarti HaKodesh Min HaBayis, that I've gotten rid of all of the Meiser from my house, Meiser Sheni, I think. Anyways, I got rid of all the Meiser from my house. Levidu Yom Kippurim, and also the confession that the Kohen Gadol says on Yom Kippur, the smicha for leaning on an animal, the shrita for slaughtering an animal, the snufa for like waving, like I don't know, animals and minchas and stuff, la agasha to bringing like a mincha to the mizbeach, the kmitza for like taking a fistful of flour, la aktara, burning it, the malika, like killing a bird with your fingernail, with Kabbalah and receiving the blood, Azaya, and sprinkling the blood, Shkoyas Sota, and also to give Sota, that very fancy drink that she drinks, and Egla. And also, if you find a fellow in between two cities and he's Pashit dead, and we don't know who the murderer is, and the body is like right in the middle of the two cities, and so then you kill a calf with the taras and mitzorah, and also for making a mitzorah on when he's pure, when he's healed after 7 days. So making him pure with like a bird and hyssop and stuff. Okay, so all of those things you could do like all day. Now for harvesting the omer offer, like the barley for the omer, so you could do that all night. Laktaris chalav bevarim. And also, with hektar chalav bevarim, and burning of fats and limbs that were slaughtered, of the animals that were slaughtered during the day, you could do all night. Zaklal, this is the rule. Darvish mitzvah bayom kosher kol hayom. Something that its mitzvah is to do during the day, you could do it all day. Darvish mitzvah balayla kosher kol layla. Something that the mitzvah is to do it at night, you could do it all night. Friends, moving on. Says the Gemara Minolan. So how do I know that you read Megillah all day? The because the pasuk says that these days are mentioned and done so all day. The kriyas Hallel, and you could read Hallel all day. The pasuk says from when the sun rises until it sets. So you can read Hallel from when the sun rises until the sun sets. Rabbi Yossi Omer says Rabbi Yossi Zayom also Hashem. That this is the day that the Eibishter made. All day you can read Hallel. Then Tilas Lulav to Chaparayna Lulav to wave it, to shake it. The pasuk says, that you'll take for yourself on the first day. So you have all day. Let's cast shofar, and for blowing the shofar, the ram's horn. The pasuk says, Yom Chua that a day of blowing will be for you. So you have the Gans Tog, you have the whole day. V'la Musafin, and to offer the Korban Musaf, Dichsiv dvar yom biyomo, as it says, the thing of each day on its proper day. So again, you have the Gans Tog the entire day. The mitzvah, and the musaf prayer also, you could do Gans Tog, kumusaf and shavyor rabbanim, because the musaf prayer is basically very similar to, it's like the same thing as the musaf sacrifice. So if the musaf sacrifice could be a whole day, so also the prayer could be a whole day. As well as for confessions on cows. The Elef Kapara, Kaparim Yom Kippurim, because we make a Gezer Shava. We learn the word Kapara is said by making confessions on cows, like the Paralim Davar Shal Tzibor, and also it says confession by Yom Kippur, the Tanya, as we learn in a Brisa, Gabi Yom HaKippurim, in the context of Yom HaKippurim, B'chipur Baido Vad Beiso, that he atones for himself and for his family, B'chapar is Devar Makos Medaber, and we're talking about a verbal confession, B'chapar B'yamamahu, and this confession, and the atonement happens during the day. Tichsiv, as the Pasuk says, Bayom Hazeh Yichaper Aleichem, that on this day, there will be atonement. So you can do these confessions all day. Levider Meiser, and also the years 4 and 7, when you go to Jerusalem and you say, like, Bi'arti HaKodesh Min HaBayis, I got rid of all this holy stuff from my house and I brought it to Jerusalem. Tichsiv, as the Pasuk says, V'amarti Lefnei Hashem Elokecha, that you will say before Hashem your God, Bi'arti HaKodesh Min HaBayis, that I've gotten rid of all of this holy stuff from my house and I brought it to Jerusalem. And it says, Hayom Hazeh Hashem Elokecha Mitzavecha, that on this day the Eibishter is commanding you. So again, we see that Vidui Meiser is connected to the day. Leaning on animals, slaughtering animals. The Pasuk says, that you'll lean on the animal, you'll slaughter the animal. And it says by slaughtering, on the day of your slaughtering. And waving, on the day that you wave the Omer. So, waving is during the day. And also for bringing the mincha offering close to the altar, the iskash l'snufa, because it is compared, right, bringing it to close to the altar is compared to waving it. Tichsiv, as the pasuk says, v'lokach hakohen mi'ara isha as minchas haknos behenef v'hikriv. It says that the kohen will take from the hands of the woman by sota the flower offering, and he will wave it and he will bring it forth. And since we bring it forth during the day, so also the waving is during the day. Since we wave it during the day, so also the bringing forth is during the day. And also for killing a bird with your fingernail, and for taking a fistful of flour, and for burning flour on the altar, and for sprinkling blood on the altar. The Pasuk says, "B'yom tzavoso es b'nei Yisrael." On the day that the Eibishter commanded Bnei Yisrael, as Rashi points out, lahakriv is korbanim. The continuation is to offer their korbanos. So the offering of the korbanos and all of these steps have to be done. They can be done all day. Ulashkoya sota, and also for giving the special drink that you give to a sota, a woman who may have gotten tangled up in a adultery case. Asya Torah, well, because we have a Gezer Shava of Torah. Ksiv Hocha v'Asala HaKohen es kol Torah azos. It says that by sota that the priest will do this entire Torah, Ksiv Hosum, and it says Al pi Torah asher yerucha v'al mishpat, that based on the Torah that they will teach, and on the mishpat, ma mishpat bayom ap kan bayom, just like judgments are during the day, so also the sota is going to be during the day. Now, friends, because you've been behaving very nicely, let's try to finish this parak. And also we can kill a calf, because this other fellow is killed, so we kill a calf. So that could be done all day. Amr de Rabbiana, they say by the Besmedrash of Rabbiana, kapara ksiv ba kikochim. Well, it says kapara, atonement, like korbanos, and kapara we said is davka during the day. With the Taris Mitzora, as well as the purification of the leper. Tichsiv, the pasuk says, Zostia Torah Mitzora b'yom Taroso, that this is the Torah of the leper on the day of his purity. You could harvest the barley for the Omer offering all night. The Omer Mark, as we said, Ktsir Usfir Balayla Bava Bayom, that harvesting and counting is at night, but the the offering of it is on the second day, but you can already harvest it at night. We like to chalav bevarim, You can burn the fats in the limbs all night. The pasuk says, "Kol halayla ad aboker." Right? It says that these are the things on the altar all night until the morning. So we said that this is the general rule, that anything that it's mitzvah is during the day, so you could do it all day. What do you mean that this is the rule? What are we including in this general rule? That vesiluk bazichin. Friends, what are the bazichin? So in the temple there was the shulchan, there was the table with 2 stacks of breads, 6 breads on each, and then at the top there were these 2 spoonfuls of frankincense. Those are the bazichin, and then every Shabbos they would swap them. So Rav Yossi, like Rav Yossi the Tanya, as we learn in the Brayso, Rav Yossi Omer says Rav Yossi silek asayshana shachris v'sider sachadash ha'arvis, that they would take down the old frankincense in the morning and then replace it with the new one at night, which means that during the entire day there was no frankincense there on Shabbos when they would switch it. So we're saying that the entire day is a good time to make this swap. Right, so silek es ha'ishana shachris v'sider sachadash ha'arvis ein mechach klum. That's completely fine. Umani mekayim lefnei Hashem tamid shelo yalin shochem b'lo lechem. So basically, right there. So the pasuk says lifnei Hashem tamid. Right. What does the pasuk say? It says b'yom haShabbos yarchenu lifnei Hashem tamid me'eis b'nei Yisrael b'ris olam. That every single Shabbos they will sort of organize the shulchan in the Mishkan, the Beis Hamikdash, and so it says before God always. So the question is, how could it be always if he removes it in the morning and only puts it back at night and replaces it at night? What about the entire day? There was no frankincense there was no bread, there was no frankincense on the shulchan. So how is that considered tamid? Well, morning and night is already, as long as it was there in the morning and it was there at night, it's considered like, as long as it doesn't go overnight without any bread or frankincense on the shulchan, then that is acceptable, right? So we see that according to Rav Yossi, all day is basically a good time to swap out the frankincense. So let's read that again. So zeh klal la'asui emais. When we say that all day is anything that the mitzvah has to be done during the day, you could do it all day. So what does it include? That it includes the organizing and removing of the spoons full of frankincense. Yossi, and like Rav Yossi the Tanya, we learn in the Brayso Rav Yossi Omer says Rav Yossi silek es ha'ishana shachris v'sider sachadash ha'arvis, that if you remove the old frankincense in the morning and put the new frankincense at night, ein b'chach klum, that's fine. Umani mekayim lefnei Hashem tamid. But if I only remove the old ones in the morning and only replace it at night, so then the entire day there was no frankincense, then how could that still be considered tamid always? So shelo yalin shochem b'lo lechem. That just means that it shouldn't be overnight without any bread. But as long as you switch it at some time before the night, then that is fine. So davish mitzvah b'layla kasher kol layla. So we say that something that you're allowed to do, that the mitzvah is to do it at night, so you could do it all night. Lasuya mai. What are we including in this general rule? Lasuya achilas psochim, to include the eating of the korban pesach. Uchlo kira b'lozu ben Azariah. And now b'lozu ben Azariah. Another Gemara from Masechta Brachos Daf Tes, that there's machlokos of Yekiva and b'lozu ben Azariah over there about can you eat the korban pesach all night or just until chatzos? So we're saying that, well, kol halayla, it's kosher all night, and not like Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah. The Tanya we learn in the Brayso v'ochlos abasur b'layla hazeh. You have to eat this meat of the korban pesach on this night. Amar Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah says, Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah nemer kan b'layla hazeh v'nemer laholon ve'avarti beretz Mitzrayim b'layla hazeh. That it says by the korban pesach on this night, and it says by Makas Bechoros that I passed through Egypt on this night. Malaholan al Chatzos, Afkan al Chatzos, just like Makas Bechoros was Chatzos, so also by the Korban Pesach, you only have until Chatzos, according to Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah. But we're saying here in this Mishnah that if the mitzvah is to do it at night, you have the entire night, and therefore you can eat the Korban Pesach all night. Friends, well, with that we wrap up the second parak of Masechta Megillah, and that was Daf Chof. So, what did we talk about on Daf Chof? So the first part we just kind of wrapped up the opinion of Rabbi Yehuda which is that a young fellow can read the Megillah. We had two anecdotes from Rebbe and Rabbi Yehuda about when they were young and read the Megillah in front. Rabbi Yehuda read it in front of Rabbi Tarfon, Rebbe read it in front of Rabbi Yehuda, and then we talked about different mitzvahs that you have to do after Netzach Hama, but if you do them already from Alos HaShachar, that is fine. And then we talked about different mitzvahs that you can do all day. Alright, and that was really fun. Friends, that was Afchaf from Masechet Megillah. I hope you enjoyed. Peace out.